An eating disorder is defined as any of a range of psychological disorders characterized by abnormal or disturbed eating patterns. Eating disorders affect more than 30 million people of all ages just in the U.S. Eating disorders have the highest mortality rate out of all other mental illnesses. Some of the most common are anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, and binge eating disorder. However, there are countless types of eating disorders. We want to bring awareness to this deadly illness in order to end the stigma around eating disorders.
I'm Drew Lunenberg, and I'm a junior. And I was diagnosed with bulimia for 3 years. It was 8th grade, sophomore year, or freshman year, and then sophomore year. And I just kind of came out of everything due to multiple psych hospital visits. I always felt I wasn't good enough, and so I took action on that. And so it just kind of progressed, if that makes sense. I started off as just kind of I won't eat that, but then it got to the point where it was I lived to find the nearest bathroom or figure out how to do this or do that, and it was just kind of obsessive, and that's when it all got out of hand.
It's Hannah Wiersma, and I'm a senior. I moved from New Jersey a few years ago, not a few years ago, 10 years ago, and that kind of triggered because I moved away from my friends and my family, and I left my dad there, and it was just a really depressing thing to do. And me being so little, I didn't really understand what was going on until I got here. And I think that's sort of where a depression cloud came over me. One of the worst things I've ever had to go through in my entire life. It kind of takes over your mind. You don't start focusing on anything other than your body, and that's not really how you should live your life. And it just kind of, the depression cloud, it just came over me, and I was blocked out from the rest of the world, and I was just focused on what I saw in the mirror.
When you hear the phrase eating disorders, what do you think about?
When I hear the phrase eating disorder, I think about a struggle within yourself and not being okay with what you see in the mirror, and it's not a way that you should be thinking, especially in your teenage years.
Mr. Kachofner, FIAD teacher, health teacher, and life coach.
Were eating disorders talked about when you grew up?
No, they weren't. I went to a Catholic school for 8 years, and then I transferred over to the public school. And I really only remember one day, and that was we were all brought to the gym, and I think Miss Rodeo came and talked about her struggles with an eating disorder. That's the only time I remember talking about eating disorders.
What did you learn about eating disorders in school?
I remember the basics from health class, but that was in 9th grade, and I'm a senior now. So I guess it really just stuck to me more since I went through it, but I have a feeling that mainly people who have never really understood the subject are probably uneducated about it because they only went through it their freshman year.
Mm-hmm. What did you learn about eating disorders when you were younger?
I don't really think much of any. I don't think that it was anything that was ever really talked about, but I grew up in an era without cell phones or social media, so the push that you saw was either in magazines or on TV or billboards, that kind of thing.
In recent years, we have seen younger children develop eating disorders, and many believe this is due to the rise in social media. How do you think social media affects your body image today?
After I was done with being anorexic, social media kind of brought it into it in the first place. I really think that social media is a horrible thing. I feel like it's only used for cyberbullying, and it's used to put people down. And I mean, you see those comments, and it's not right. And I think that social media now is just getting worse. Everyone lives for social media. That's how everyone communicates nowadays. And today, my body image, I don't care about my body image, really. I think I look good, and people tell me I look good, and so I just need to keep that in my head. Even though I'm bigger than the average body size, I don't care anymore, because if someone comments on my Instagram post, I know I'm gonna have people to back me up. And I think that support is all you need.
Does social media affect your body image?
Social media was one of the reasons why I learned so many tricks to get away with things that I did, because there's like these things called like pro eating disorder sites, and on Instagram I would make like secret accounts and everything like that, just so I could like secretly follow all these things. And it's kind of horrible because there's like it's called like a pro ED community, and it's like people encouraging people to lose weight or saying that they're fat, just so you have extra motivation to provide to your eating disorder. And so if it weren't for social media, I probably wouldn't have gotten to progress as far as I did.
What do you believe is the cause to a rise in eating disorders in younger children, specifically girls?
Right now, I think it's social media, and also, growing up, it was dealing with Barbie dolls and just having that ideal body image and photoshopped ads. So I think that's kind of leading people down that path, and also maybe our language as well of, hey, don't eat that, if you eat that, you're gonna get fat, and then people start thinking that in their head that, oh, I'm gonna get fat, and I think we just need to change our language as well.
What would you tell someone struggling with an eating disorder?
What I would tell someone who is struggling with an eating disorder is it does not matter what anyone thinks about you. It really, your mental state is only what you should be focusing on. And if you resort to thinking about what other people think of you, you just need to try to steer away from that path and really just think about yourself and think about, you might never even see these people again. I think about that in high school. Like next year I go off to college and I'm probably never going to see any of these people ever again. And I just have to think that I don't care what they think of me, and that's exactly what you have to think too.
What would you tell someone struggling with an eating disorder?
I'd tell them that honestly, like, it's gonna be okay, because at the time you don't think it's going to be, and it gets to where you're just kind of like, nothing else matters besides like what I weigh in or how I look, or like if I can wrap my fingers around my wrist, or like all this stuff that really shouldn't matter, and it just takes away from like the person itself, because you waste so much time trying to be perfect and trying to be like the norms, that you just kind of like ruin yourself for that perfection. And another thing I would say is that honestly, like, just be yourself, like live life, like you're only 16 or 15 or 20 once, like instead of trying to worry about like what you eat or what you don't eat, like just worry about living life, because it's gonna be okay in the end.
Disorders affect millions of people all around the world. In order to bring awareness to this deadly illness, we need to be aware of those around us and care for those around us as well. If you know someone with an eating disorder, contact the eating disorder hotline and make sure that you're there for them to end the stigma around eating disorders.